Review for Changing Lanes, 2002. Ben Affleck, Samuel L. Jackson, Toni Collette. Really good cast. Movie follows two men who have a very different situation. They're both going to work. Well, Ben Affleck's going to work. Samuel L. Jackson is going to a custody hearing in a courthouse, the same courthouse they're going to, which is interesting. They're kind of both not paying attention, but I think it is Ben Affleck's fault. He hits his car because he kind of hits him on the side, and Samuel L. Jackson's car really gets messed up because he hits like those water or whatever, the jugs of water in the median on the freeway. He hits that, his car won't even start anymore. Hits that. Ben Affleck's car gets messed up on the side, but it's still drivable. So he's on the side there, and then they get out. And Ben Affleck kind of just brushes him off. He doesn't even get his name. He's this really rich, big time lawyer. He is he just writes. He says here he's looking for his checkbook. He's taking out all these papers and stuff out of his briefcase. I don't even think he shows him his ID or insurance. And he gives him a blank check, and he's just like okay, get your car fixed, fill out what you need. I gotta go. And then Samuel L. Jackson's car won't start, and he's like, "Can you at least give me a ride?" And he's like, "Sorry, man." I think he says, "Better not luck next time" or something. And then he just gets in the car, drives off. And it's funny because they're going to the same courthouse, so he could have easily given him a ride. It would have fixed this whole situation, because what ends up happening is that Samuel L. Jackson basically shows up to the custody hearing late. So it's all done. His wife gets the children. He doesn't get the children. He just bought a house, or it's about to be his. It's about to be cleared by the bank. And he did that to show his wife that, he's serious. He has a history of drinking too much. So that, he doesn't do that anymore. He's serious. He didn't get a house for his children and her. He says he doesn't even have to live and sleep in the house right now, just to kind of, an act of goodwill. And, but it's too late. He pleads with the judge. The judge won't listen. He says, well, you should have been on time. He tells them what happened. They don't really care. So he basically loses the custody hearing. It's like one of the most important days of his life. He loses that. So he's very angry. Now, Ben Affleck left an important document on the side of the road after he crashed, because he put it on the top of his car, and he's trying to find his checkbook, and he puts everything in his case except for that document after he gives him the check, and he drives off. Samuel L. Jackson looks at it. It's in this red folder, and he's like, okay, and he puts it in his pocket. So he has a case where this very rich man died. He had a charity, and it was headed by I think his granddaughter and his close friends. They ran the charity, but like a few days before he died, he signed a document saying that no, Ben Affleck's firm is going to run the charity. And the people that did run it don't really like this. They're very angry. They're suing him. He has to produce this document. I think it's called proof of authorization, that he signed, saying that no, now this firm is going to run it. And or I think the firm's going to hire people to run it, but basically the firm runs it. And he doesn't have it. He doesn't know where it is. The judge is angry at him because of that. He says he left it somewhere, but he'll get it. She says, okay, fine, get it by the end of the day, because this is the morning. So he's freaking out. He doesn't even know Samuel L. Jackson's name because he didn't get it, because he didn't give him the time of day. And he's driving down the street and he sees him because he just left the courthouse where he just left, and he starts talking to him. And this starts a series of events where he's trying to get back his folder documents. So this is a movie I saw a long time ago. Just rewatched it. I've always really liked this movie. It's an interesting movie because they're kind of going back and forth, like attacking each other. Ben Affleck wants the document. Samuel L. Jackson is angry. He threw away the document, but then after he realized it was important to Affleck, he went back to the courthouse where he threw it in the trash can. He digs in the trash can, gets it back. So he's like, well, I'll hold on to this for now. When he sees him, he tells him his name, Samuel L. Jackson, which he probably shouldn't have done. I think he told him he's like in the insurance business. So Ben Affleck talks to Toni Collette, which is his mistress, who's a lawyer who also works at the firm. But she's kind of disgruntled. She doesn't really like the people that run the firm. She doesn't think they're good people. And later you'll find out more about them. And although she gives him the number of this guy that basically destroys people's lives. So, she works for, she doesn't like they're not good people, but she's a good person, of course. But she gives this guy, like, she says he's like a fixer, not like a hitman or anything, but he basically hack. He does that to Samuel L. Jackson. He destroys his credit. He makes him bankrupt. So I guess he takes all of his money. His house won't clear. The bank says there's nothing we can do. And so he further destroys Samuel L. Jackson's life because, after a while, his wife calls him and says, "Okay, did you really buy a house? Like I want to see it. Like, she's interested." Because she also took a job in Oregon. This is in New York. And she's going to move there with her kids so that he doesn't really see his kids again. And it's funny, he says to the judge she's moving halfway around the world. The judge says it's not halfway around the world, it's Oregon. It's like, it kind of is. From New York, what is that, over 3,000 miles away? So, great cast. You got Sidney Pollack also, Richard Jenkins, who I'm a big fan of Richard Jenkins, really good actor. Amanda Peet. But yeah, I won't go through the whole plot, but they just go back and forth. In a feud, a young lawyer and a businessman share a small automobile accident, and their mutual road rage escalates into a feud. And this is directed by Roger Mitchell, who did Notting Hill. I don't know, looks like he did isn't that like a romantic kind of rom-com movie? So he did a couple rom-coms. This is kind of different for him. I think it's really well made, though. And one of the screenplay writers helped write The Player, Deep Impact. The Player is an interesting movie. It's a very strange movie, but it's pretty good. So some interesting people behind the scenes help write some of Ray Donovan. But yeah, I really like this movie. It's got a good tone to it. It's got a good feel to it. It's got a good look to it too. I think Roger Mitchell does a really good job directing. I think it showcases Ben Affleck and obviously Samuel Jackson, great actor. But I think Ben Affleck is a pretty good actor too. I think this shows, he has some good scenes. Like he has a scene in a church. I think that's really good. Some good back and forth with Samuel L. Jackson. And at the end of the day, basically Ben Affleck learns some things about the people that run his firm that he doesn't like, and he they kind of do some illegal things to get the trust done, um, and then he kind of does a power play on them. Like the ending, I think is really good. Um, so spoilers. Like the people that run the firm, for some reason, he hasn't seen all of the documentation behind this thing. Pollock and Richard Jenkins are like the people that run the firm. They're each getting paid 1.5 million each. Uh, when they run this when they run this thing, and Ben Affleck is like they're basically stealing from this guy, this dead guy, but he's like it's probably illegal though, so there's nothing he can do. So if he doesn't get these documents in, he could go to jail. They could go to jail because it would be like they were lying that he signed this document. So they basically take another document the guy signed, and it's the last page of it which he signed, and they take the signature, put it on the document they need. They turn it into the court, which is fraud, totally illegal, and they offer to do this for Ben Affleck. He doesn't really want to do it. He says he'll think about it, and he kind of disappears for the day, dealing with this situation with Samuel L. Jackson, trying to get this back. They end up doing it, and then at the end of the day, he ends up getting the document back, because Samuel L. Jackson just kind of gives it to him because they destroyed his credit, they destroyed all these things. He tells him, "Look, I'll give it to you, but put my credit back on. Give me my money back," which Ben Affleck does, but he can't really put all the money back for some reason. The guy can't do it. He doesn't get the house, so he's kind of angry, but he's kind of like, okay, well, this isn't right what I'm doing, so he gives it back to him. And at the end of the day, Ben Affleck is like, and I'm going to hold on. Like, he tells Pollock, which is his stepfather, by the way, he's like, hey, I'm going to hold on to this document, and we're going to make some changes in this firm. And I'm going to hold on to this, and put it in a safe place just in case. So kind of like he's in charge now. And also, we're going to do pro bono work. We're going to help the poor people, and also Samuel L. Jackson isn't poor, but although he did take all of his money, so I don't know. But he's like, and also first off, we're going to help this guy get this house that he deserves because his account was hacked, and we're going to represent him, and we're going to help him get this house. So then he's going to help him out get the house. He goes and talks to his wife, and actually it seems like he smooths things over with his wife because Samuel L. Jackson tells him about Ben Affleck, and she kind of believes him, but she kind of doesn't, because he has a history of being drinking way too much, being irresponsible, getting into fights with people, so she kind of blamed him. So Ben Affleck explains to his wife, no, this is like all my fault. Like, I'm sorry, I'm going to help you get the house. So he kind of smooths things over there. And I don't know, maybe, Ben Affleck and Samuel L. Jackson can, become friends at the end of the day. But I really like that ending with Sidney Pollack. I think that's a really good end to the movie. Because Sidney Pollack's like, oh, you're not happy here. Why don't you just go to Texas for a few years, do pro bono work there, then come back? So he's like, no, I'm doing pro bono work here in this office, and you're going to still pay me. And also, we're making some changes in this office, to be more ethical and moral. So, but yeah, really good movie, enjoyable movie. Really well directed, great acting, very good cast. Richard Jenkins, great actor. Really, he's only in it for a little bit, but he's whenever I see him, I really like that actor. But yeah, that's about it though. If you've seen the movie, if you like the movie, comment below, let me know, and see you next time.